my name is Kelvin Muriuki. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Taka Earth, and our focus is building data for a greener Africa. We founded our company in 2022, and the focus for us was to purely approach climate action from a data perspective. So our whole goal was, let's go in, figure out where the emissions are coming from, then let's build a product that is based off data. As Taka Earth, we've built an AI-powered network of smart bins, and these smart bins actually capture post-consumer waste directly from consumers. And then once they capture the post-consumer waste, they also issue incentives to consumers. So consumers are able to immediately get a reward from their recycling activity. And once we uptake the waste that we've collected, it then ends up with different waste management companies that recycle that waste. So, for example, for PET, it ends up with a company called T3, which does purely PET recycling. Then you have other companies like Bottle Logistics that do glass. And all these waste management companies then provide us with documentation of recycling. So what we then do is we generate sustainability data of that. So for example, we're able to capture this waste on behalf of a company, an FMCG company, and then provide them with sustainability data that verifies that work. And in the process of that, we generate consumer insights. So for us, the biggest focus as a company, or rather as Taka Earth, is to build the largest AI-powered network for post-consumer waste capture, and then use that network to generate data that is both valuable for companies and also for users. So the whole goal is to look at the data that we're generating out of this network that we've created and show that sustainability is not a matter of CSR, but it's actually an element that supports business. It's actually a revenue generating focus of a business. The main problem that we're solving as a company is the waste management system. Africa does not have a waste management system, but at the same time, also Africa has a massive information gap. And this information gap exists because the trade within Africa is informalized. So 70% of FMCG companies, so fast-moving consumer goods companies, 70% of their trade happens informally through shops, dukas, and any people who move around the products. So that means that there's a massive gap of data from where consumption is happening, because the only thing they know is where the sale is happening, and that sale ends at a wholesaler or distributor function. So our focus is to use waste to then answer these questions of the information gaps, both for sustainability and also for consumer insights. Our focus is very simple: to build a waste management system network. So the biggest problem that currently exists is you'll have your favorite soda, your favorite water, your favorite milk has packaging. That packaging has an indication for recycling. It always tells you, please recycle me. But as a consumer, you have nowhere to be able to recycle that product. So our goal is to give you first the avenue as a consumer for you to be able to manage that waste. Because if we can get this waste somewhere where it can be recycled, then it means that we can build a waste management network. And the biggest problem that exists specifically for things like waste is the fact that we don't have a waste management system. And because we do not have a waste management system, then we're then building avenues for different things, ecological situations to happen. So for example, Uganda just had an issue where there was a landfill that killed people. Ethiopia had a similar thing. You also have waste seeping into waterways. So all these things that tie into cleaning up based on the Paris Accord would only be fast-tracked if we build a waste management system. What we've done is build a bin, a normal trash bin. But what we've done with our bin is make it smart so that when you throw something in, we know what is that waste type. Is it plastic? Is it glass? Is it cloth? Because if you know the waste type, then you know who is the recycler who needs that waste. And the goal is to first educate the consumer to sort that waste. And the only way you educate a consumer to sort that waste is to offer them value. So how we are offering value is using an AI model to identify the waste type, then you use the same smart computer to issue incentives to consumers. So every single time you throw something in our smart bin, you get money back. And then that money you can go and redeem with other people. What Taka Earth does is, first of all, it reduces carbon, because what we're doing is we are capturing that specific product and ensuring that it's not going into a landfill, because a landfill would then mix up a lot of waste and then emit different waste types. You will get methane if there's organic waste, you will get carbon if there's plastics, and once they break down, you get different microplastics. But our focus as a company is to use the technology that we have to capture the waste immediately you consume and ensure it ends up with a recycler. So our whole focus as a company is called carbon reduction. So we capture and then reduce the carbon. Our whole goal first within measuring is, first of all, to understand what products have we captured. So if we understand the product we've captured, we then use existing reporting standards such as GRI. And what that model does for us is we understand how much emission, how much carbon does each product have. Then using that, we're able to account for how much carbon we are reducing. Our users are actually you and I. Anyone who consumes anything that has a packaging, that is our user. Then our customer is the person who benefits from that data that we are capturing by capturing the waste itself. So if we capture a bottle of soda, Coca-Cola might be interested in our data. If we capture a bottle of milk, that packaging bottle might be interesting for Brookside. Our biggest challenges has been changing how companies view climate technology. Most companies, think of climate technology from a focus of solar, a focus of e-mobility. So when we come in and what we're pushing is smart bins, it's a bit different, because what we do is we are a data company. So we offer data of waste, which is sustainability data and insights. Now, what is interesting for companies is all of a sudden having to rethink the idea of packaging from just being packaging, which they throw away, to being packaging that can generate data for sustainability and also how their consumers are consuming the products. As I mentioned, we have users and customers. So on our users, we have already 1,500 active users on our platform. And so far, for the last 1 year, we've been able to capture 170,000 individual containers. So this is plastic, glass, and cans. So we've been able to capture 170,000 containers. And out of these 170,000 containers, we've also been tapped by different companies to document for them waste management. So because our platform is much more massive, we've been able to document 50 metric tons of waste that has been diverted from landfill to actually end up with recyclers. This is what we've done within the last 12 months. What is most impressive for us is also getting amazing FMCG clients. So one of our best clients is Coca-Cola, which is our lead client, our anchor client. They've been very focused on getting our technology out to users. And then we've also done some work with EABL, we've done some work with Pernod Ricard. All these companies are within FMCGs. Our business model is very simple, is we offer a service called Waste Capture as a Service, where we capture the post-consumer packaging waste from the consumer directly on behalf of the company. Then the second thing that we do is, after capturing that, we then offer data, which is sustainability data, because companies want to be responsible for their waste. And thirdly, we're able to offer consumer insights. We're able to tell companies where consumption is happening, and that way it allows them to better market and focus for long-term marketing. We're focused on fast deploying smart bins within retail spaces, because one of the things that happens is whenever you drop something in and we give you the incentive, you then need a place to redeem that money. So you redeem with retailers. So that's our focus, to be able to deploy smart bins with retailers, then schools, and then lastly, we'll be going into rural populations. It's very difficult to figure out where you fall in as a climate tech company. The structure of climate tech exists within waste management. So every single person confuses you for a waste management company. So our focus has been to work with the existing ecosystem. That way we've been able to navigate through the regulatory red tape, but the goal is to build focus for climate tech. The same way you'd build focus for fintech or for edtech, to build focus for climate technology. We've built this with a bunch of people. One is my co-founder, Bob Mwangi, who's in charge of the technology. He's actually our CTO, and he's been in charge of building all our tech platforms. Then we also have an engineering lead, because we build hardware. We have a mechatronics engineer who's in charge of all our builds. Then on top of that, we have amazing software engineers that we've worked with. Been very laser focused on having as much young talent as possible. So we've had people straight out of universities, people still within universities, and we've been able to build amazing technology. Climate technology, as you said, is a hot topic. Everyone is very much interested in climate technology. But I think the only people who are going to survive within climate technology are people who are actually doing what we call climate action. And this is direct action to reducing emissions. Anything else will not withstand the next 10 years. For us as a company, where we see ourselves as Taka Earth, is building the documentation of that climate action. So it's being able to build a platform that will generate data that then allows Africa to go green. That's what we see for us, and we're not, thinking twice about where we will be. Then for me personally, in terms of a legacy, and this is a legacy that we have as founders, is our goal is to build the next generation of founders, not just specifically within climate tech, but founders who are African with a focus for Africa.